tools is it? What tool was it that brought you to us? Was it our home value landing pages? Was it our open house marketing? What'd you hear about? Put that in the chat panel. It'll just help me sort of, you know, shape this call. But today we're going to talk about just sold advertising, and just to get into it, it is designed to capture listing leads. It's also designed to get you more. What have I done? I logged in as a client. Give me a second here, guys. It's also designed to get your referrals, right? To get your name out there, get referrals, and to get listing leads. So just sold marketing is really powerful. We kind of do everything for you, but you do have to take one step, and I'm going to show you that step once I can log in. And that step will just trigger a bunch of tools, and then you'll have them in your email, and you can sort of just work through it from there, or you can work through it in the task list. So I'll show you what I'm talking about once we get in there. I guess somebody answered the question there, so while we're waiting for that to bake, let me find out what brought you. You've been with our team 6 weeks. I found the call available in support. Oh, cool. Great, Kathy. Welcome. Looking to add value to partner relationships. Okay, Michael, good. Oh, I think, Michael, you might be a lender, right? Yeah, okay. Well, it's a home value landing pages. Yeah, okay. And I know we spoke last week, so that's cool. Good. Glad you're on the call. This really covers listing marketing. Michael, you had mentioned landing page advertising, landing page tools. We have a whole section of landing pages, and they are a very powerful way to do it. Before we dive into that, I want to point out that we just put together this getting started thing. And if you're like most customers and most agents, you're pretty good at just coming in here and ignoring what we prepare for you, right? Just blast right over this and go where everything you need to go. But you actually do want to click on getting started. And I want to point out why there are some really killer tools in here. You do have to scroll down, but setting up, we have auto posting to Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We will post to your business pages on Facebook, to your Twitter accounts on LinkedIn. We'll also put it on Twitter and LinkedIn. We put hashtags, we put emojis, we put relevant information, and we put our landing pages right behind it to capture the leads and send them to you. So if you've got your CRM connected and you've got this auto posting going, we're going to auto post your listings at every status, and everything is designed to capture leads and send it back to you. So the first two links are auto posting and CRM integration. I know Melissa here is here from Keller Williams. You can integrate all your agents' profiles to eEdge so that it drops right into their CRM. Client review websites and lead gen signature. These are two really cool tools. One is designed to showcase your Zillow reviews. It is loaded with lead capture. The lead gen signature down here is designed. It's like you copy and you embed it inside of your email. If you're using Gmail, you're using Outlook, you're using AOL, Yahoo, whatever. Embed this instead of the fancy signature that you have in your email, and you'll actually capture leads with it. Right? That's what we're about, capturing leads. You can work with your colors and all that. Coming soon marketing, just listed, open house. I would definitely, if you can market coming soon, go here and learn how to market coming soon. Actually, it's very similar to what we're about to do, which is just sold. But if there's anything I can recommend, is market your listings coming soon, market your list as just listing, just listed, market them again when they're open house. So it's the same listing, open house, different call to actions, and then just sold, different call to actions. So we're going to look at the just sold one here in a minute. Then there's a bunch of information here on Facebook ads and seller leads and follow-up, how to create the landing pages you want. Michael, I know you're interested in this section. There's also a section here, no listing lead generation. Melissa, you might want to know this because I know you got a lot of agents in your office, and some of them are big hitters, and some of them have one or no listings. What do? Well, they could go right here to no listing lead generation and see some of the tools available for them to capture leads, both buyers and sellers. So let's see here what I got. Cool, Mike. You were on a call with Scott, so you got in here. Awesome. All right. So anyway, that is the getting started page right there. There's a lot of information. If you use that, you're gonna have a lot to use to market and to get more business with. There is one dedicated page for Facebook advertising, one for open house lead gen. Even if you're not the listing agent, you're holding an open house for another agent. If you want to capture leads, I definitely recommend you pull in the listing and you go right here. So let's go over to the listing section right now. And let's talk about just sold marketing, which is the point of this call. I'm going to have a sip of coffee while we're waiting. So your listings, they either auto flow into this account, into your account like this, if your MLS works with List Hub. Or if it doesn't, you can just go right here to add a listing and you can grab it. As long as it's an active listing, you drop in the zip code and the MLS ID. And we'll pull it in with the photos and it'll look like your listing. And you can go to the property description and say this is courtesy of the other agent. But then all the tools that are generated are designed to capture leads for you. But if we have a property that is active, and remember I showed you that getting started, I said, hey, you want to market things when they're pending. And the way you change it is you just go from active to pending. Some MLSs automatically kick this listing and change it. Most do not. So you want to make sure and come in and change it from coming soon to just listed, or from active to pending. And then of course from pending to just sold. So you change it right here, right? You just make it just sold. So I'm going to go over, once you've done that, you can go straight to the task list. It's the first button on the right. And if the home is just sold, it's going to take you straight to the just sold advertising tools. So we'll wait a second to get there. And I mentioned earlier on the getting started page that I have, that we have auto posting for your social media. So the first item to do here, and just to give a kind of a high level, this is the task list. You should be doing all or some of these tasks. The more you do, obviously, the more leads you're going to get, the more reach, the more advertising, more branding you're going to get. But what they are is social media tools for your social media tools for your seller's social media share image, you don't really need to mess with, but when you click something and you share it to Facebook, it looks slightly different than what it looks like when you're looking at the tool. And that's because the share image has a different look. And if you want to control or manipulate that or customize that, you click that. But you really don't need to click that. The single property website, you might want to use it, but we're auto posting a landing page for the listing out there already. There's a branded virtual tour. The branded virtual tour is an awesome virtual tour. It's branded to you. It's got your lead gen links. It's got multiple ways of capturing leads. And so the key is, how do you get it out? Now, if you're with an MLS that allows a branded virtual tour, you just copy the link and you put it out there and you'll get it. Now, I'm going to dive into all these things, but I'm just kind of giving you a high level of what it is now. There's an e-flyer for your database. It's a great way to engage your leads. If many of you have been collecting leads over the past months or years, you got thousands of leads in some kind of hopper somewhere, right? In your CRM, in your constant contact, whatever. And they're just sitting there and you're dripping on them and not much happens. Well, these e-flyers, I'm going to show them to you in a bit, actually are really effective in getting those people re-engaged and getting another home value or getting more information on a new home for sale. So we got that built there. E-flyers for your sellers. And then probably the one that's super exciting to a lot of our clients right now is print flyers for nearby homeowners. This is designed to get both buyers and sellers in the neighborhood where you're already selling a home. Blog post, if you're using anything like Playster, or if you got your own WordPress blog and you want to put something out there, you can. Text writers, if your office is using that, you can have text writers, and that gives you a unique code for each listing. Instagram post, and then Zillow reviews. So this is everything that you kind of want to do, but you won't have to take every step, and I'm going to go through it anyway. So first is social media for your social media, right? Now I mentioned that you have auto posting. So your auto posting could go, but I sold this house before I had my auto posting turned on. So if I wanted to do this manually, I could just click this share button right here, share to Facebook. Now, when I click share to Facebook, let's look at what happens. It pushes it right to my Facebook page. And we'll give it a second because it should give us a little toggle. Do I want it on my page for all my friends to see? No. I want it on my business page, right? So just go to a page you manage and you put it there. Now, you always want to write something cool about the home, right? And I'll actually, let's see if I got a page I manage. Let's see if I can do that for you. It should actually show me the pages that I manage, but since Facebook is going to run a little slow, let's just talk about what we should put for this home that is just sold. When it's just sold, there is something, obviously the home just sold, but there's actually many times for many agents, there's some compelling information, like this home was in contract in 7 days, right? Or it's sold above asking, right? If anything like that happens, and it's funny because I talk to agents, they're like, oh, I want to sign up, but I don't have any active listings. I just sold, 2, and they were in contract in 4 days, right? That's huge news that you want to tell the market that you know how to sell a home in 4 days, right? I don't know. I know you guys are realtors, or you're related to real estate, but selling a home is not on anybody's list of fun things to do. So if you can tell them they can make money, or maybe it's sold above the Zillow estimate, right? Or you can make it quick. This is all stuff that you want to tell people, right? And then say, click here to get info, right? So those kinds of statements are there. If you want to add emojis, people click on emojis. So, sold above asking. And I know it sounds silly, but I got to tell you this. And the reason I got to tell you this is because we have been getting this feedback from our clients for a few years now, for a couple years, that the more often, I've got a little tab here in my browser. My Chrome browser. The more often you put emojis in your posts, the more people will click. I don't know why it is, but it is a true statement. So yeah, I would, okay, so share on a page you manage. Well, what's the problem here? It should actually show me the pages I manage. But we'll just put it on my newsfeed and leave it like that. Now I want to point out that we looked here and we wanted to share this, and it looks like this, right? If I look at this, it will show me this. Let's just look. We call this a listing landing page. And it shows me the home this way. But when I post it to Facebook, it looks like that. That is the Facebook share image. That is a social media share image. And if I close this, remember I mentioned earlier, this is where you control that, right? There's a red banner there, right? I could change that red banner just by clicking this and saying, oh, I don't really like red. I'm into blue, right? If I save that and I try to share it again, it's going to share it that way. If I want to change the text that's going to show on that share image, I can do it there. But that's how you get it over to Facebook if you're going to do it manually. I've got some questions here, and please feel free to ask your questions. Let's see, not working for me either. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why that you can't. It's not showing your stuff there, but it should actually show you your business page there. And if not, I'll show you a workaround, right? So right now, and I don't know why, but it says share to a page you manage, and it should show you all your pages that you manage, your business page, your community page, whatever kind of page you got. It should show you that. And it's not showing that for me right now, so there is a way to work around it. Now, if I post this, and I'll post it somewhere, post to Facebook. Did that work? No, you know what? Okay, it did work, it did work. Okay, so once it does, it takes me back to the page. Now, when it's just sold advertising, this is what the listing landing page looks like, right? It says another Groveport home sold. Recent home sales affect your home value and get your new value instantly for free. So the whole point of just sold advertising for us is that we know that people who click on just sold ads are often homeowners. So if you're running an ad and you want, for homeowners, if I own a home and if I live in that area, I might be curious, right? I wonder what it was sold for. And that's what this is saying. You can get your home value. Now there's another tool for your social media. And when it comes to just sold, I actually prefer this one. And I'll show you why. If you toggle here to choose the tools and you choose a single property website, this has a different look. And for me personally, I prefer this in a just sold ad. So let's look at it and look at why. It's the same property. It's just presented differently. And when you're marketing a home that's open house or just listed, I think the listing landing page is awesome. I just think it's like it offers a little information. This home is for sale. Get more information, click here. I think that is great for just listed, coming soon, open house. But when I'm doing a just sold, I actually prefer the single property website, and it's popping up now. And you'll see it's the same home, it's just presented differently, right? It's gonna have your colors, your branding. You can see it's the same home, right? So if I clicked on an ad, because I owned a home and I saw that you have something that you just sold in the area, I would click on it and I go, oh, okay, that's the home. What's nice about it is I got links that are going to drive to my website. If I'm tired of looking at this home, I can see what the price is here, or you could change the price and say, contact for price. But the key of listings to leads is there's always a call to action. And because this home is sold, the call to action is that it's going to affect your home value. So give us your address. Give us your address, and let's get your home value, right? And you click continue with Facebook, and when you do that, we now have your address and your name and email. Okay, the agent now has that. So this just sold single property website showed the consumer a home, said it was sold, and said, would you like your home value? That's going to affect your home value. And automatically, that's what it was, right? So I actually prefer to do that. When we're doing auto posting, we auto post the listing landing page, which looks like that. We got some questions here, so let's load them on. It's not showing it today on FB. Doesn't know why. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so it's weird. Facebook is always, it's not a perfect world. It's pretty dang close to perfect, but it's not always perfect. So that's how you share your tool to social media. Now, you could easily, I like the social media, I like the single property website, again, when it's sold. I just like that interaction. So I'm going to share that to LinkedIn, right? I'm sure you guys are on LinkedIn. You've got this social media network building there. You have no reason, you don't even know why you're doing it, right? It's just sort of happened, and every few days somebody wants to be, friends with you. But here's what it is. It's like sharing a post, right? It looks like this. And you could write something, great home just sold, right? Now, I'm not going to post this, but I will show you very quickly where it goes, right? I'm not going to post this because then I got to remember to go back and click it, right, or delete it. But what you may not know about LinkedIn, if you're like me, people are trying to connect with you all the time, and you say yes or no, and you never think about it, right? But LinkedIn a few years ago realized that people love to hang out on social media, right? They just love to hang out and go, especially Facebook has taught everybody that I can just scroll through that news feed all day long. And so LinkedIn saw that and said, you know what, people really like that. So let's create a news feed, right? And that's what they're doing. And this is another realtor, and he's got whatever thing he's got there. Here's realtor.com, he's got stuff up there. And I follow real estate stuff, so you're going to see that I pick up a whole lot of information. Well, your tool, your ad it would show up right there as people are looking at it. So let's see. Why don't I do that? I'm going to just do it for us right now, if I can get there. I'm going to copy this single property website, click the copy button, go back to LinkedIn. Now, I'm not going to write anything fancy, but you should be writing something cool, right? Like sold fast, or let's see here. Let's just say sold, sold in 4 days, right? And then paste in the link and give it a second. You see this little green thing here? Give it a second to that's pulling in the photograph, right? Now you could add hashtags. I didn't add hashtags. Hashtags are indexed on LinkedIn, okay? So it looks like that on the news feed. People are scrolling through, and if they click it, what happens? If they click that picture, it opens up the single property website, right? And if it opens up the single property website, you know that now that single property website is designed to capture leads for you, capture seller leads specifically. So it's a great thing to get out into that network. And it's actually, you can do it manually, or you can do it with auto posting. So let me go delete that real quick, since I got that up there and that's not really sold. Delete post, delete there. Okay, and so you can sort of, imagine that you could put it out on Twitter. And I do recommend, even if you don't have many followers on Twitter, if you post this to Twitter and you put hashtags like pound real estate, in this case, or hashtag real estate, hashtag Ohio, hashtag Groveport, hashtag sold, and hashtag whatever your brand is, right? Maybe you're a lead realtor in Ohio. If that's the brand that you're building, I would put that hashtag in there so that people see it over and over. So that's how you market for your social media. The key to us is the tools that you use are going to capture leads, right? So I see a question here. Let's get that question. Does it have to be my listing? Tom, no, it doesn't. I don't know what your rules are in your local MLS, but I know a lot of our clients will mark, if they're the buyer, if they represent the buyer on a home, and then they know that home is sold, they will market it, even though they were the buyer's agent, right? And so if that's works in your MLS, you can do that. So here is the next tool, seller social media. And this one is the one I think that a lot of agents just don't know what in the world this is. We email an email to you that looks like this. And the great thing is it asks you to read, and most clients don't like to read. So I want you to know what it is you're supposed to do. You're supposed to open it up, or you can go right here and copy what is between the red lines, right? And this is you, the agent, copy what's between the red lines, go over to your Facebook account. Oh, actually, no, that is wrong. Don't go to your Facebook account. Email that. We actually email that content to you. Forward it to your client. Wipe out all the nonsense in the instructions that we've given you, and just give them what they need. And then call them and say, hey, would you put that on your wall? Right now, this is just sold advertising. Okay, you should be doing this at every status. If this home is coming soon, if this home is just listed, if this home is open house, and if it is pending, you should be giving this information to your client, and you should call them for 5 seconds and say, hey, would you mind putting that on your wall, right? I'm marketing it, I've got it in the MLS, we're expecting a big turnout on the open house, but the more people that we can get to see this, the better, right? So I got to give it a second so that this looks right for you while we're so that it makes sense. But man, Facebook is slow. There we go. Okay, there we go. So notice it's saying our home is just sold, and we want to recommend Vincent Meza at L2L Realty for doing an excellent job. Here's his email and phone number, right? And there's going to be a preview, so I'm waiting. It's going to pull up the photograph here. Now, this is me. I am Vincent Meza, and I'm not going to be talking about myself this way. But if you send this to your client, to the homeowner who you just sold a home for, and say, "Hey, would you put that on your wall?" Well, now if they just copy and pasted like I did just now, they're going to. What they're doing is I think they're going to be pretty happy the fact that you just sold their home for them. Um, let's see here. What the heck is going on? Why did that? Sorry, guys, I lost my place. Did that post? Oh, there it is. There it is. Weird. All right, come on. I'm trying to get to the post button. Oh my goodness. Oh, great. Sorry, guys. What is the problem here? Anyway, the point is, there's a nice picture. Can we just post, people? I'm crying out loud. It's talking about you, and most importantly, hallelujah, you share it here. Most importantly, it's coming from your client talking about you, okay? And it's basically a pre-written testimonial in front of all of their friends, right? If you ask for a testimonial or a review on Zillow, well, that's awesome. Somebody might actually find that review one day. But in this case, all of your clients who you sold a home for, their friends and their family and their colleagues, they're all communicating on Facebook, right? I mean, I communicate with my old colleagues from my previous work. All my relatives are friends of mine on this. And maybe even the parents of the kids that go to, my kid's school are friends with me on here. And now I have just told all of my friends that you are my realtor and you did an excellent job, and I just gave you your phone number and email. I hope that is clear how that works. I'm sorry it was a little bit wonky. I'm having Facebook's having issues or I'm having issues. I don't know. So, any questions on that one? Let's see here. Anything new coming up in L2L in the future? Is there a way to drive L2L leads to Facebook Messenger? Yes, there is, Chris. When you run an ad on Facebook, you can actually say you want your leads to go to the Messenger. That's part of Facebook. Chris, I don't know how long you've been a client of ours, but we probably add new tools to listings to leads on average every 2 weeks. So the short answer is yes, there is something new coming to listings to leads. I recommend that you get on our mastermind group for our clients, or you get on calls like this to find out what's going on, what's new. So the single property website, you don't actually need to do that because I already showed you how to share the single property website. So you've kind of already taken care of that. We put it there just because you don't want to forget it. The virtual tour, though, I mentioned earlier, is really powerful. It actually, I'm going to open it up. It looks like the single property website, except there's a pan and zoom situation from your photographs, right, that are coming in from the MLS. And what I recommend is, now, if you're investing on a professional photographer, and that photographer is giving you a really nice video, well, you can click edit and paste in the video as long as that video is on YouTube. And then that will replace this pan and zoom of photographs and put in your own your own video. Now notice that the call to action is again on the virtual tour, get your home value, right? So that's what this virtual tour does, is it actually shows you the photos of the home. It's a virtual tour, but it is designed to capture leads. So what should you do with our branded virtual tour? If you are if your listings are on Zillow and Trulia, I recommend you click this copy button down here and you go directly to Zillow and Trulia and you drop it in on your listings, because your listings do get seen on Zillow and Trulia. And if somebody inquires, well, you might actually get a lead, but I guarantee you 3 other agents are going to get the same exact lead at the same time, right? So if you put this virtual tour and they're interested in your home, they'll probably click on that virtual tour before they'll ask an agent anything. And as you can see, the virtual tour is all about capturing leads for you. One thing about this is it is just sold. You actually should have your virtual tour associated to your listings when it's just listed. And then if you change the status from just listed to open house, from open house to pending, from pending to just sold, it just auto refreshes. You don't need to go back to the virtual tour. You just do it once and you leave it alone, right? And just update your statuses. Now, for most agents, you can just copy and put it right on your listings on Zillow and Trulia. If you have a MLS that allows a branded virtual tour, of course, put it there. If you're with Keller Williams, take this branded virtual tour and put it on your listings in KWLS. If you're with any of the Realogy brands like Century 21, Coldwell Banker, ERA, Sotheby's, Better Homes, put it on Crest. Crest is spelt like the toothpaste Crest. And agents don't have access to Crest in their offices, only marketing managers or some sort of manager. So I don't know what they call Crest in your office. I do know that they change the names all over the country based on whatever things they do. But there is a platform that syndicates for those brands, and I would recommend that you put that there because it's all about capturing leads for you. Okay. Market Leader is not a syndication platform, but KWLS is, well, I don't know. I'm associating Market Leader to Keller Williams because they used to be connected, but Market Leader, you could embed a virtual tour if you wanted. I think I would recommend the number one thing is I would take the single property website and I would run an ad on it. That's the number one thing I would do with our tools. And I'll do that for you in a minute. But let's go through. So eFlyer for the database. The eFlyer for the database is designed to capture both buyers and seller leads. Notice it has your logo at the top and it says this home is just sold. And if you want information about that, you can click there and get it. But you can also get your home value right there in the same email. And then your favorite lead gen links, which you control on your lead links page at the top of your account are there. And then your picture and your phone number, right? So if you're collecting leads and you got a drip campaign dripping on people, this is a great tool to get to those people. And because it just re-engages, drip campaigns, I know you put some work to create those, but they get kind of stale. This is basically like, here's something that just happened and here you can get your home value right now. Copy the code here, embed it in your database like MailChimp, Top Producer, Constant Contact, and blast it out to those leads. See another question here? No problem. Okay, so that's eFlyer database. Here's a flyer for the seller's sphere of influence. I showed you the social media ad for the seller. Well, the flyer is very similar. It's an eFlyer, so maybe your clients don't have Facebook, right? Maybe they're a little bit older and they don't use Facebook. But maybe they use email. Here's an email that says, "Dear friends, Vincent at Lafayette Realty sold our home. Here's his name and email," right? So again, it's a flyer to say it's just sold. It's talking about you. And because you sold it, it's basically a pre-written testimonial. At the bottom, it's got all your lead gen links. It's got your picture. It's got your social media. And it's got your what do you call it? Your logo there, right? So you have this at every status. We're just talking about just sold, but when just listed, open house, you have an eFlyer for the client. You have a Facebook tool for the client. And I'll tell you what, sometimes this kind of freaks agents out. In the 10 years we've been doing this, 2 times have I heard an agent tell me that they got pushback, right? Like, where somebody said, "Oh, I'm paying you to market my home. I'm not doing it," right? Some kind of attitude like that. More often, way more often, we hear from agents that their clients love it because they know that you're working on their home throughout the whole cycle, right? Because it goes from just listed, "Hey, I'm doing this. Can you put this out? Hey, I've got an open house." So they know you're working on it and you're just sending it to them. If they put it out, all their friends and family are seeing it. And that's really the key. If you're trying to get a referral, I don't know what you do referrals. Are you leaving business cards behind and saying, "Hey, if your friends ever have a question, don't forget about me"? Are you getting shiny, pretty cutlery and leaving it behind? I have no idea. But if you get your name in front of your friends, clients, and family and colleagues multiple times, like when a home is just listed and open house and pending and sold, that's a pretty good way of getting referrals. They're going to know you are their realtor. So here's probably the one tool that is really getting a lot of attention in our mastermind group. If you're a client of ours, you need to be in our mastermind group. And if you're in our mastermind group, you need to see what the heck is going on here. This letter is something that you should be using definitely when it's just sold, definitely when it's open house, and even maybe when it's just listed. Now that's a lot of door knocking, right? You can print this and you can mail it. You can print this and door knock it. And I'm going to show you right here. This came from our mastermind group 2 days ago. I don't know if you can see it, so I'll read it to you. It's from Cheyenne. And Cheyenne is actually a new client of ours. I think she's probably been with us for 2 months. And I've seen her pop up in the mastermind group because she's struggling with Facebook advertising. She doesn't quite get it, right? But she found this letter that I just showed you, and she knocked on 200 homes in 7 hours. That's a long day. Picked up 6 buyer leads and 4 listings. Okay? If you could work in 1 day and get 4 listings, would you do it? Well, Cheyenne did, and the tool she used is right here. All right? It is called the print flyer for your nearby homeowners. If you're holding the open house for somebody else, you can pull that listing in there and get this same tool exactly for you. But if you sell a house, I definitely recommend that you not ignore that tool. So another reason why I want to show, to kind of belabor that tool is, again, if you're a client, you need to be in our mastermind group. All right. You need to see what other agents, and it's a private group for our clients only. And so they're really awesome about sharing what in the world they're doing. That little graphic I showed you from Cheyenne she put that in there, right? But if you're in the mastermind group, actually, you could search on the left for the name Dustin. But actually, I just kind of bumped it because I think Michelle, who's on the call, I just said, hey, you got to look at that. So let's see if I can see it real quick. Yeah, right here, Dustin Fox. On July 30th, took that letter that I just showed you, printed it. I wonder if I'm having an internet connection. Everything seems to be a little bit slow here. And he mailed it out. Okay, so I'm actually going to kind of walk you through this a little bit slowly. He put it in a nice, not super expensive, but a nice black envelope. He put in his calendar, you see on the left. He even put in a 1 page of his Zillow reviews. So the envelope has some weight to it, right? And it doesn't look like junk mail. It looks like, I better open this. I can tell you this, that posting is in July 30th. There's over 100 comments from other agents following this strategy. And Dustin has come back about a month ago and said, guess what? I went and bought this $4 silver glittery Sharpie pen, and now I'm hand writing my address, and more people are opening it, and I'm getting better results. The key is it doesn't look like straight up junk mail, and people are opening it. And because he's using that letter, just like we give it to him, this is his Zillow reviews on a piece of paper, right? He just mailed them out, and he mailed them out, this letter, to 250 homes. It cost him $600, $625, right? But he got 10 listings out of this. He says 6 here, but we know because we've talked about it. He got 10 listings from that one mailing, right? Have you sold a property? If you're going to sell a property, I recommend you find a way to get that tool in front of people. Now you could do it the way Dustin did it, spend a few bucks, make it look nice. He got 10 listings out of it. You could do it, the way that Cheyenne did it, and just did some door knocking all day and got 4 listings out of it. I don't particularly care how you do it, but I recommend that you take advantage of that tool. It is called the print flyer for nearby homeowners. You can use it at every status in your listing. I see a question here, so let's pick that up. Best way to get names and addresses for a neighborhood for mailers? Michael, I don't know. And I think that I just don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I think like the post office, There are companies that'll you just say, I want everybody in that zip code to get this, and they'll do that. I don't know how he got that, but that's a good question. And Michael, I think you're part of the mastermind group. You could go in that chat right there and ask him how he got it, right? The county GIS can give you that information. Thanks, Kathy. I don't know what a GIS is, but Michael probably knows. You guys are always smarter than I am. Blog post. The blog post is designed to capture leads. There's all kinds of blog posts, right? Responsive means it's mobile responsive. So if people are looking at your blog on a phone, well, that's going to just auto shape. Here's a virtual tour. But all of these are just sold, and you can copy and put it on your blog. Melissa, you're with KW. You might be using Playster. Some of your agents might be using Playster. And if they feel like they want to add content, that's really easy. Copy, go over there, click source, paste, boom. Lead gen links, just sold the whole deal. Text writers. If you're not using our text writer, I will tell you this. Text writers are, you know what they are. They go at the bottom of your sign on the front yard. That's cool, and a lot of our clients use our text service for that purpose only. It's $10 a month for an agent to have 10 codes. And then each listing gets a unique code, and then you could create a sign writer, and those numbers stay with you, so you can rotate the numbers. But I think a lot of our clients are using this because when they do their auto posting to their social media, we include those text codes. And as you can imagine, a lot of people look at social media on their smartphone. So if you give them the ability to get information by texting one number to another, they do it. And the thing that agents love, and I'm hoping you guys know this, is people respond to text much easier. That's the fastest way. They respond to that much faster than your phone calls, and of course to your drip campaigns, right? So you got to think about that. I know that there's a constant training of speed to lead. You get a lead, you got to call in 5 minutes, right? Well, I can tell you there are many ways to capture leads with our tools, and if you call them immediately, they're going to say quite often, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't fill out anything. You probably had that occur in your life, right? But if you text them, it's just less intrusive, and we hear constantly, and not only in our company but many others, that texting is a great way to convert. So that's why our clients use that, because they can get more leads with phone numbers. And I think everybody always likes that. At the office level, there's a super discounted plan for that. So Melissa, I don't know if your office uses that, but we can always talk about that. Instagram, what does it even say here for Instagram? Actually, if you run an ad on Facebook, you can select to have it go to Instagram. And then Zillow review. What's the Zillow review? Oh, cool. I didn't know that we had this. So this is a letter that says, it was a pleasure to serve you. And it's asking for a Zillow review, and it gives them a link to that, right? So if you put in the seller's email and you blast that out, you're going to get a Zillow review. Okay. So let me show you what you should do if you get a Zillow review. Before I do that, I'm going to leave this right here. Let's answer your questions. There are two things I want to do. Geo leads from RedX. That's where you can get that. Okay. Tax rolls. You can get that information, Michael. So, and I think that's what Dustin said. He got it from the tax records. So we're going to do two things, and we're going to wrap it up. We're going to show you, after you get a Zillow review, what do you do with the Zillow? How do you use that to get leads? And then I'm going to run an ad for you on Facebook with the tool that I like. All right. So I would, let's do it. So let's just say you sent this over to your client and they gave you a Zillow review. And that's awesome because you can go to your profile. And Melissa, I don't know if you're here, but boy, any of your agents that have Zillow reviews need to know this one. If you go to your profile, there is a section that says preferences. You all have this. If you have Zillow reviews, you should check the box that says show Zillow reviews. Now, I don't have Zillow reviews, but my friend Kevin does. So I have his email address in there. Okay. Now, I want to point out that if I just check that, it's going to map to my key email address, which is vincentsoceans@gmail. Now, if you're like many realtors, you may have an email address that's your working email address today that is different from the email address you have in Zillow. If they do not match, the tool will not auto-generate. If they do match, it's going to auto-generate, and that's going to be awesome, right? But in my case, they don't match, and that's why I've got Kevin's in there so that we're going to look at his. So if you go over here to your lead gen signature, again, inside of your profile, you can embed this email inside. You can copy this for email and embed it in your Gmail, and all this with all these working links is going to be in your email address. I'm sure you've got an email signature, but this is one that captures leads for you. Those links are pointing to your website. But my reviews are on this page, okay? And so let's just imagine that I got an email, or I sent that email out requesting a review, and then I see that I got it. I should go open up this page because it has all my reviews, all my favorite lead generation links, including a home value link. It's got all my listings, including the sold ones. And anytime I click on one of these listings, it's going to open up a single property website. And you know that this single property website is designed to capture leads for you. What do you do with this? Copy the hyperlink, the web address at the top, and take it to your page, right? Just take it to Facebook. Now, this one, you should really be friends with your client on Facebook to do this. You can't do this if you're not friends with them. So we lean heavily on social media because it impacts our clients heavily. It helps them grow their business. So I would start, even if you're not a real big fan of it, I would definitely, in your listing presentation, say, if we're going to work together, I want to be your friend on social media because I'm going to leverage that. We're going to use that. So tag your client. This is, if you're friends with them, you can tag them. And I'm going to tag Scott, right? We're friends. And I'm going to say, hey, Scott. And of course, things are running a little bit slow here on the World Wide Web for me. Yeah, what? Okay, Scott Pierce. Give it a second. It's going to allow me to, there we go. There we go. When you click that blue thing, that tags him. All right. And what that means is all of his friends, I'm going to say thanks. I'm not going to type in too much because this thing is just acting like horribly right now. But just space down and click V, right? Copy and paste that link. And notice what this thing looks like, right? It's got this fancy kind of Hollywood spotlight thing going on. It's got some gold stars and it says, you know, another 5-star review from Zillow. Now, because I tagged Scott, all of his friends and family are again going to know that I'm his realtor and that he just gave me a review, a nice review. And again, those are the exact same people that you're hoping to get some referrals from. So that's how you use that. Any questions there, guys? I see one coming up. This recording will be in the mastermind group. So get in the mastermind group and we'll have it there. Okay. Okay. Let's run an ad on Facebook. This is what I would definitely be doing. All right. What I showed you is the normal thing that you should go through the task list for your listing. But I would also definitely, if I sold a property, I would want everybody in my market to know that I can sell property, right? I think you would too. I don't know if you do just sold advertising. Let's see if we can find a great example of that too. But if I sell a property, I want everybody to know that, right? Now you might share it on your Facebook business page and think like, that's what I'm doing. And that's great enough for me. Let me explain one thing about Facebook business pages that you probably don't know. When Facebook started business pages, which is probably around 5 or 6 years ago, they were awesome. they were, what they did, let's go to our business page. I've talked about our mastermind group, but we actually have a business page, right? And you have a business page. You probably have a community page, and they work very similarly. Um, and when they first started it, when Facebook first started it, anything you put on that business page, if somebody liked your page, they would see that post, right? So it was really an incentive for you to run ads to get people to like your page, and then they would see that post, right? They would that's just how it worked. And then Facebook did something that, not all of us was expecting, and that was they went public. They became a publicly traded company and needed to start showing some profit. So what they did is they told all of the people with business pages, hey, you're not going to have an organic reach anymore. You are not going, if you put something on your business page, only 6 people out of every 100 is going to see what you post. And that's a dramatically different shift of reach of what's going on here, right? So you might actually say, hey, I'm fine just taking my single property website. Where is it? Got it somewhere over here. And putting it on my business page. But I want you to understand, and again, I'm doing the single property website because when it's just sold, I like that. I like single property website. And I might say, great home, whatever you want to say, right? I kind of mentioned that earlier. Sold in 5 days, something like that, right? In 5 days. And then paste in the link, right? And it'll put a picture there and whatever you put there, and then publish. So now for every 100 people that I have, it's going to, okay, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to finish my sentence. I'm going to show you what this is. For every 100 people, only 6 will see this. This is an incentive for you to run an ad because you want to reach more people. Now, somebody asked, how do you get things to go in the messenger? And right here, when I publish it, it's saying, would you like to click send a message? And I'm going to click yes, preview with button. So so what happens is if somebody responds, send a message. If they respond to this, I'm going to publish it right now. The response comes right into my messenger. Now, when you run an ad, you can also run an ad to have the responses go through the messenger. And I'll tell you what, that is awesome. That is awesome. Because when you have, and for some reason things are not publishing because my day is like this. Oh, we may need to change the photo. That's why it's kind of doing that. So, God darn it. Okay. I'm not going to post it because I made it. So it wanted another photo, and that's what kind of slowed it down. But the point is, yes, you can share something to your business page. No, it doesn't have a lot of reach. All right. So what I want to do is get this tool in front of a lot of people. And where is it? For goodness gracious, I'm going to copy it again, and I'm going to run an ad. And I want to, oh no, that's not where I want to go. Sorry, guys. I want to create an ad. If you click create, click add. And usually I say click traffic. And I recommend that you do traffic because what that does is when people click on the ad, it drives them to our landing page. And obviously you see our tool. Our tool is designed to capture leads. So that's usually what we do. We have some clients testing lead generation, and that can work because the form is on the website. But you have to test it because sometimes the form is not as useful as our tool, especially when it comes to seller lead generation. I don't recommend using lead generation on the Facebook platform. I recommend that you use traffic. Usually, I tell everybody to use traffic always with all of our tools because our tools are great at capturing leads, and that's just how it is. It's they're great at capturing leads, so you want to drive traffic to it, right? Um, and I'm going to start over because I'm always running ads and stuff like that. So come on, traffic. You should, when you click traffic and you click any of these things, it's going to ask you to how do you say, name it. I would name it sold in Lafayette and the date, so that you start to know, are people responding to sold or open houses, or what are they responding to, right? That's the way you measure your business and your investment. So I would name it. And here is sort of the gist of how you create an ad through the ad manager. One is the audience, and the audience is the most powerful part of Facebook advertising. And I totally recommend this. So it says location. Now I'm going to say Lafayette. That's where I am. I think the page actually is some other town, but I live in Lafayette, and I'm just going to say Lafayette, California. There we go. And it's going to give me a radius of 25 miles. You can see San Francisco's over there, right? That might be a little bit far. I'm not going to drive to San Francisco for business, because I can tell you the traffic is getting bananas out here. But I will go 10 miles for business. So I want everybody around here to know that I just sold something. I probably don't want 18-year-olds to know, because they're not going to be able to help me. But I'll put a minimum age of 29, right? And then over here in placements, this is the number one area for making mistakes for seller lead gen. Whether it's our property valuation landing page, or in this case, we're trying to get sellers with a single property website, you want to click edit placements. And you want to only do it on desktop. And this usually melts everybody's brain, right? So try to listen to me here. Every tool that we create is mobile optimized. Every tool. And that means if you saw this tool on a smartphone, it would shrink down to a smartphone. And when you choose the placement for running this ad and you say put it on mobile, people will click on it and they will see this thing jammed up in their phone, and they're not used to filling out multiple forms or clicking buttons through a web page on their phone. So in a way, we are not mobile optimized. Or maybe you could say people over 50 are not optimized for filling out multiple forms on a phone, right? So that's why desktop, when trying to capture seller leads, is super important. It is the number one mistake that agents make. They spend the same money, people click on the ads, but they can't figure it out on the phone because it's just too small. The other thing is always change your budget to lifetime budget and then set your budget, right? I'm going to just spend 30 bucks and say I want it to run for a few days. And it always defaults you out a month, so you got to change it back. I'll just click continue. And then you kind of write the ad. I'll just kind of show you what's going on here. Okay, let it do its thing. Always, if you don't know anything about Facebook ads, do not use the carousel. It's a great way to waste money. Single image ads. Oh God. Sorry guys, I clicked on the wrong thing. I want to click here. I want it to be a single image ad or video. You want to choose your right business page. I think I got a listings to leads page down here. So I'm going to choose that. And then I scroll down and I say, what tool do I want to hit the market with? Let's just take that. And let's go back to the ad manager and paste in the link in the website URL, and then just hit enter. And when you hit enter, it starts to do its thing. You can see on the right, it just starts to map this thing over. And it shows you what it's going to look like. And it says, get your new Growthport home value now free. Now that is cool, but that is not actually, that doesn't work really well. You Something that works really well is what I had said earlier, right? This went into this home sold in 5 days, right, or something. Sorry. I'm not going to type it out because everything is running so slow. But this home was in contract in 7 days, or it's sold above asking. When you're writing a seller ad, you can also just say something like 30 home. This home just sold. 40 homes sold in this area last month, and the high was 600 or 300 or 200. Click here to get your automated home value now free. So you're telling them right what they can get right there. Like, this home sold is going to affect your home value. Click here to get home free. It also says another Groveport, Ohio. You can change that over here and just say, Groveport home sold, right? Or you can change it to whatever you want. And then run the ad. Go right down here and run the ad at the bottom. And what you should get is they'll tell you we're going to review it. Just click confirm. They'll review it, and then they'll make it live in about 15 minutes. At the end of the ad, you're going to get a message from them saying you've got a reach of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people, and you got X number of website clicks. Okay. Now, the reach means people actually saw it. All right. And that's cool. But the website clicks mean that they got clicks. They click the ad. If you're not getting website clicks, either your language is not compelling enough, like what I just wrote here, just this H, but it should be compelling, or the photograph is not very compelling. Maybe add some emojis. That always helps people to click. Then for the number of people who click, you should expect some leads. Okay? Now, if you ran it on mobile because you ignored what I told you about desktop only for seller leads, you will get a lot of clicks and probably one lead. But if you get a lot of clicks and you ran it on desktop, you're going to get more leads. So that's how you run an ad for just sold advertising. Any questions here? Well, I want to thank you for all the questions that you did give me, because that really helped. I think it helps everybody learn that way. I am going to put this recording up in the mastermind group. Definitely, if you're a client, get in the mastermind group. If you're not a client, I really recommend that you sign up. We do have, I think, a live 14-day free trial, and then it just rolls into a month-to-month account. There are a lot of tools. We just talked about one sliver of listings to leads. There are a lot of tools in here that can help you grow your business, whether you have listings, whether you don't have listings. We just got, it's packed. It's very solid. So everybody, thanks so much for your time, and have a great week or weekend, I guess we're coming up to. Thanks again for your questions. Have a good one.